If you don't understand what it is that makes women lose interest in you, then it doesn't matter how attractive you find her, it doesn't matter how good of a match the two of you would hypothetically be. You'll simply end up in the same situation that I was in when I was in my early 20s and my crush invited me to her party, where I ended up seeing her make out with another guy. So let's go over the top 5 mistakes guys make to make sure that you don't make these on your next date. First one is investing time in the wrong women. This is not even a mistake you're making towards women, it's a mistake you're making towards yourself. If you don't know what you want to have in your life exactly, you need to know the must-haves. What does a woman must have in terms of character traits? What would be a nice to have, and what's complete non-negotiable for you that you're not willing to tolerate? Made a full video about this, I'm gonna link it somewhere here. If you don't know what you want in a woman, you're just wasting your own time, you're wasting your own potential. And many times people can also feel it off of you, so that the date with the person that you're not even that into will also not go great. Second element you make, and that's one of the most frequent I see guys make, is being too available. It's human nature to want things that we cannot have. And if we want something that we cannot have easily, that creates desire. So if you make yourself too available, or even worse than that, if you come across a little too eager, it will very quickly make her lose interest. It will kill the desire that was there, simply because you're removing the space required for desire to be there. There's actually a tool you can use to make sure that you're not too available, and that is playfully pushing her away. Now think of it as a game where you're joking about not being available or about not pursuing things, and that implies your willingness to walk away, even if it's a joke. So for example, she might say a joke and you laugh at it and then say something along the lines of, "Whoa, if you keep cracking these jokes, I don't think this is going to work out." Now, very simple, very basic, but super powerful, because it subcommunicates your willingness to walk away, and somebody who's willing to walk away is by definition not too available. The second mistake guys make, and you'll see that all the time, is rushing things too fast. And that is going to repel women almost like a magnet that is facing another magnet with the same pull. It will just push it apart, because nobody wants to feel rushed when it comes to dating. You want to feel like the other person is interested in you. You want to feel like the other person actually cares about you. And if you get the feeling that all the person wants is hooking up, it's going to repel your date. It's going to repel the person you're interested in so quickly. So rather than trying to rush things, focus on making her feel at ease, making her feel relaxed, and you do this by doing things that make you feel relaxed. If you feel relaxed, it's also going to help the other person feel relaxed. Being yourself, communicating in a more authentic way, and by creating this relaxing vibe, things can smoothly move forward. Slow is fast in that case, as stupid as it sounds. Now, we've talked about not rushing things, but the fourth mistake I see men make is not making a move early enough. The problem if you don't make a move at some point is that things will end up in the friend zone, which essentially means there is no more space for anything romantic happening. Sure, there might be ways to deal with that, but ideally you would avoid landing there in the first place. The thing with the friend zone is that many times guys wonder why they're in the friend zone when everything seemed to be going so well in the beginning. They were going along super well with the girl, but by not making a move, the tension dies down at some point. Initially it's all fun and games, you're having a vibe, but then she's thinking about whether you're going to make a move and you're not making a move, and then eventually it becomes a bit platonic, to the point where it almost becomes weird to make a move. So how do you reconcile this with not rushing things? Well, the idea is making a move as early as possible, and I always tell my clients to make a move 15 minutes after they think about whether it's the right time or not. Because usually what ends up happening, if you wait too long, then it feels like you missed the right moment. So rather than waiting for the right moment, just create the moment by doing it. Don't expect it to work, don't expect anything in return. Just do it for the sake of moving things forward. And she might even turn her face away or say that that's going a little too fast. And as long as you're fine with that reaction, you're prepared for it, because you're expecting some girls to not be ready yet to move things to the next step. But by you making that move, you make it clear what the intention is, you make it clear where things are headed, and avoid landing in the friend zone. And by being okay when it doesn't work out, it will also not feel rushed, because you again communicate calmness rather than this feeling of anxiety that usually comes along with rushing things. Fifth mistake I see guys make is expecting the woman to lead. And we see this in opinion polls all the time, where women say that one of the things that turns it off the most is when guys are indecisive. And most men are actually pretty good at taking decisions about big things, but we're somewhat bad at taking these small day-to-day decisions because many times we just don't really care. So it's very difficult to pick which restaurant to go to if you don't really care which one you go to. But that's also the key to it. If you don't care which restaurant to go to, just pick one. Just be decisive and lead about it. Because the truth is, if you pick the wrong one and she doesn't like it, doesn't really matter. You're gonna go to a million more restaurants in your lifetime. So just pick something, make a decision, and show that ability to take decisions when it matters. Because ultimately people just don't like taking decisions, right? Even if the decisions are not relevant. So just take the decision for them, move things forward, make it happen, and show that you're somebody who can take charge when it's required. And I know it's almost a little bit silly because these small things don't matter, but these small things is what people look at when they meet you, and then they create an image of how you are in your life with the bigger decisions, right? So make sure that you take these small irrelevant decisions, just do it, stop thinking about them, and then people will feel from you that you're a decision maker and things will work in your favor. Now we're going to wrap up this video, but I want to leave you with the last piece of advice. All of the mistakes that I've mentioned in this video can be avoided if you simply treat the girl that you're dating like a buddy. Not like somebody that you're just getting to know, not like a work colleague, but the way you would treat your best friend. Just talking about whatever you want to talk about, being relaxed, being okay if they're judging you, because you know that your best friend wouldn't really judge you, right? He would still be by your side, he would still be joking about you, even about really inappropriate things like racism jokes, pedophilia jokes, whatever it is, your best friend would be there and laugh with you, or at least they wouldn't leave you or judge you too hard, right? So treat the girl the same way. Just treat her like she's a good buddy. That will allow you to relax. It will allow you to crack the type of jokes that you would usually crack with your friends, talk about the topics you would usually talk about with your friends, and that makes everything a lot easier. That's it for today's video. If you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, hit me in the comment box, and I'll see you in the next video.